Greetings to all and welcome to Losing Our Marbles, a Talk for Two, Season 3, Episode 7. We're getting there. We're over the hump. We're getting there. Rounding up the last good ones. If I can get these people, I've been trying to get some people on for several seasons, including our next guest, who I am introducing right now by the name of Smebbity!
Yo!
Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good to have you.
Thank you. It's good to be here. I don't know why you've invited me on, but
well,
I
we'll
feel
find
honored.
out. We'll find out. How's life? How's things?
Going as well as I can, I guess. Plodding on, living in my little bubble. My corner of the internet.
It's a relatively little bubble. It used to be a much larger bubble back when you were living in what was an empire. It's shrunken down a little bit.
We've lost a few of our brothers and sisters.
What's it like where you're at, looking at the world? What's the world look like from where you are?
From a country standpoint or from a Smebbity standpoint?
Both.
I don't know. The current state of our country. I don't know. I wish I could move out of it, but I'm too comfortable with the benefits and stuff that our country has.
Right.
You know, like the knowledge that we have, and
it's not bad.
Like
it's not bad.
All that could come to an end soon, though.
Well,
unfortunately, we'll see. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. I don't know. I don't really have very nice things to say about my country, other than our food is great, and I stand by that opinion.
You gotta know where to go, right? Just like anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like anywhere.
Yeah. It's not just all beige food covered in ketchup. There's actually some quite nice dishes.
Nice. What is your favorite dish? And don't you dare say curry or kebabs.
Oh no. Honestly, I honestly like vegetarian pizza.
Okay.
Or vegetable pizza, or
sure, like some broccoli or some spinach.
Yes.
No, I can get behind that.
Okay, so my perfect pizza is.
Ooh. We're getting into
olives,
the juicy stuff right away. I like it.
Olives, low-fat cheese. Spinach,
okay.
Broccoli.
Okay.
Bell peppers.
Gotta have bell peppers.
Sweet onion. Mushrooms.
Okay.
Sweet corn.
Okay, I see where you're going now. We're going for it's like a Cobb salad on a pizza.
Yeah.
I hear you.
With pineapple. I would have anchovies on. People think that's a bit controversial.
I like them. I actually use sardines more than anchovies myself. I'm a sardine kind of guy.
But when you want a little bit of a bit of extra salt.
Yep.
Anchovies.
It's just that nice bite.
Yep.
That nice bite.
Totally agree.
Cool.
Like, I'm not a big. I've cut down a lot on my meat recently. Just kind of, I guess it's kind of good with like all the stuff that's going on, because we're not getting meat imported and stuff like that, or it's the trade deals and stuff from Europe. Having to source all our own meat from the UK. Someone's got to cut down on the meat, you know what I mean? So I've been.
There's everything in moderation. It's my mother's motto in life. Everything in moderation. So, I guess we could get into it if you want. I don't know what your ecology knowledge is of the current state of the world, but
I'm not super up to date, but I'm interested in it.
Oh, quick clarification in chat. Where are you from? I'm going to guess northern UK just by your voice.
Yes. So I'm actually from near where Tiara's from.
Yep.
Little place called Durham, up in the northeast of England. North of Yorkshire, south of Scotland. It's basically where you need to know. Near a place called Newcastle, where the Geordies. I'm not a Geordie though. I'm actually have Irish heritage, Irish and Scottish heritage, but mostly Irish. And the dialect that I've been brought up on is, or like I've been brought up to speak, is Pityaka. It's a very, very archaic dialect. You'll probably notice that I say quite a few old sounding words like afore, instead of before, and things like that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, we have a very strange dialect up here. I mean, there's a few dialects that are pretty similar, but if you're from around the northeast of England, you'll be able to tell the difference.
Right.
Of the four main.
It's like knowing the difference between a New York accent and a New Jersey accent.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
You might think it's all the same, but no, you can tell the difference. It's out there. But going back to the ecology side of things, just like meeting in general, I always find it interesting, because there's always that out of context issue for a lot of this data, because a lot of the data is taken from large averages and things like that. And people always talk about like water consumption for livestock. And if you look at any biased water consumption data report for raising livestock compared to just growing crops, look at the bottom of the data, and it will say 99% of the water consumed is for crop feed. For the cows, right? 99% of the water they're reporting is the water used to grow the corn that they fed the cows. And it's like, well, if you're growing cows properly, in a pasture where they have access to free drinking water that's already there, so you're not draining rivers, and they're just eating the natural flora of the area, like that number goes below most nut trees, actually.
Exactly, like organic. No, what's the word for animals? Free range animals. Like it can be very expensive, because
right, the density per acre is a little bit of an issue.
Yeah,
that's the one downside, at least with how organic is structured, is you actually can't feed the world on organic farming. It's not efficient enough per acre to do it.
Exactly.
But that's why we can do things like grow stuff in labs.
Exactly.
And we don't have to worry about that. We don't even need the animals. We can just grow meat and just grow crop.
I actually have a question regarding, I guess, this topic. Do you mind if I ask it?
Yeah, go.
Okay.
Interject always.
Okay, so gene splicing.
Yeah.
Imagine that we'd mastered gene splicing.
Perfect.
Right? What would be your perfect animal? Like like say for instance, if we could splice together a bird that has very soft downing. It has mammary glands.
It's like the ultimate harvestable animal, right?
Yeah, it's docile. It sheds a lot. It has mammary glands, and it lays considerably large eggs, and it's quite happy too. You don't need to.
I think you're just talking about a really big platypus at this point, actually. It's just a really big platypus, I think, that's where we're going with this.
So what would be your perfect animal or what would you suggest to the board of the gene splicing committee? What would be your suggestion? I guess to help resolve either world hunger or
Mm-hmm.
some kind of commodity that's in high demand.
As far as gene splicing, at least as it exists currently, the best success story is the golden rice. I don't know if you're aware of the golden rice, but
Mm-hmm.
basically, most impoverished countries, economically speaking, use rice as their base food stock. And as good as that is, it's just starch with a little bit of protein, depending on what rice you're using. And like blindness from vitamin A deficiency or growth impediment from vitamin D deficiency, things, all these like little minor things that are easily preventable if they just have access to the basic foods. Like you only need 1 carrot a day to have enough vitamin A to not go blind. But a lot of countries can't afford to give everyone 1 carrot a day. Like that's the problem.
Exactly.
So they've engineered what's called golden rice, which is a high vitamin producing rice crop. So they've used bacterial genes to splice into the rice genome so that the rice now produces these proteins that generate the vitamins. So rather than having like a bacteria rice symbiosis, you're literally just taking the code to make the proteins that make vitamins and putting them in the rice. So the rice is high in vitamin A, it's high in vitamin D, it's got a bunch of other minerals in it that most rice doesn't normally have, and it's enough that you could literally live off of it. Again, still need fat and protein, but you could essentially live off of it because it has most of your essential vitamins and minerals in it. So
I didn't actually know about that. That is really interesting, because there's a lot of these kind of issues like poverty and like diet and stuff, especially like with the pandemic. People's lifestyles changing and stuff like that. People not going out and getting enough sunlight and things like that. Having to change the diets and exercise habits and stuff like that, which is it's really interesting to, if you look at it from like the whole scope of it. And like, yeah, I've got another question regarding that.
Sure. Keep them coming.
You sure?
Yeah, I like going down rabbit holes. It's always fun. And then we have to find our way out at the end. Like 20 minutes goes by and we're like, wait a minute, what were we talking about?
So, as tragic as the pandemic is, there's a lot of like innovations and progression being made, like regarding like diet and exercise and inventions and contraptions and all these kinds of things. Technology's advanced. The technology was there in the first place. Just obviously it's advanced a lot faster, and ISPs have had to upgrade certain infrastructures and stuff like that. What would you like to see developed more? Like, like say for instance, the progression of Zoom meetings or some kind of like
right. Honestly,
do you know what I mean?
I think we need to, and this is like gross oversimplification from probably a position of ignorance, but we need to abandon national copyright laws and construct an international copyright law.
Yes.
And it needs to be patent hoarding proof, and it needs to be easily applied to everyone in fairness, not disproportionately applied to digital media and not ignored in certain main realms. Like, so even if you broaden that out more to regulation, right? Like, you look at a lot of YouTube and Twitch right now. If you are producing content that's sponsored, you have to announce before and after the sponsored content in the middle of your content. That's a law in America, at least, that has to be done. And that's not just YouTube or Twitch. That's any video media, including movies. But movies are allowed to have product placement or even as gross as like the Emoji Movie, where they're literally advertising Candy Crush for like
Yeah.
3 minutes. Legally, you need to have disclaimers before and after all that. And, you know, with lobbying and artistic expression arguments, they say, well, it would compromise the integrity of the scene to interrupt the flow of the narrative by having this stuff in there. It's like, but that's the law. Like, then don't put it in your movie, right? So, like, there's all these things that are disproportionately enforced. And part of that I would attribute to the fact that it's on a national level and not an international level.
Yeah, exactly. See, this is the problem with YouTube and Twitch and other content platforms, is that it's all owned by American companies, so it's all American law.
Right.
And the data stored in American servers and things like that. So it's, I totally agree. There should be an international law where fair use should actually be a thing rather than just being something like an idea, because it's as creative as I am, like I use GIFs and stuff. I know I shouldn't, and it's,
well, technically anything under 6 seconds is still fair game. It may not be 6 seconds, but there's like a short time period of anything you can show without it being an issue. There's other arguments where they try to say the individual image is copyright protected, like a screenshot of something. But most of those cases, I think, are actually overstepping of what's actually within their legal rights.
Yes, see, that's the thing. Like the law and the whole rules around this is so confusing. It's like, what can you do? Is this allowed? But this isn't allowed.
Right.
I'm allowed 3 seconds. Is that with audio? Is that without audio?
Right. Yeah.
That image there is copyright. I can't show it. Like, you know, it's and the recent issues that we've been having on Twitch with DMCA, and Amazon not taking. Not that they should take responsibility. I don't believe that they should take responsibility for the content creators, because obviously, it's our content. It's just they're serving it.
Right.
But there should be clearer rules in the terms of service, or there should be a document somewhere explaining this in plain English for people who aren't aware of, copyright laws and IPs and stuff like that.
Right.
And it's a shame that some of they should have people who outreach to the content creators who are dyslexic and things as well, who can't read huge walls of text. Because I've known some people who have been hit with DMCA and they can't read the terms of service, because it would take them hours and hours and hours just for them to read a couple of sections, because it's just too.
Well, and the other issue is, in order to protect themselves, they always generalize.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't say you can only run up to 3 seconds of a video. They'll say you can't violate your local law. Right.
Yeah.
So and then the issue there is that most times, especially with copyright infringement, it's always case by case basis, right? So intent is a huge factor, whether it's intent on education, whether it's intent on like artistic review, or intent to, distribute without license, right? So it's because it's always intent based when it comes to the judicial interpretations. It literally could be, well, you're allowed to do 5 seconds, but you're not allowed to do 5 seconds. Like it's literally contradictory at that point, just because intent is really the biggest thing there. So it's I don't think that's on Twitch. I think that might be more on the community.
Yeah.
Like, get a couple creators together to create kind of like a crash course and say like, all right, here's something that's gone in our favor in the past, and here's stuff that's not gone in our favor in the past, and this was the difference, right? Just kind of have like a crash course breakdown of reviewing high profile cases that have occurred and kind of explaining why each one went in its own way so that creators have a way to navigate that ambiguity so they know they're headed in the right direction, not the wrong direction.
Yeah, but like, see, this is the thing, like a lot of like it's always down to the community rather than the the content site like YouTube and Twitch.
Yeah.
It's been like when all that stuff happened on YouTube.
Yep.
There was a lot, like it was down to the YouTube community to let other YouTube community members know like what was happening, what could you do and what could you not do.
Right.
And then YouTube just they pretty much just sat back and just kept on slapping the tickets on people. Just like okay, well you know there's videos out there, there's information, there's the documents, and that's
yeah. And again, that goes back to the legal thing, because I think as far as YouTube protecting itself, it defined itself as like a TV rather than a TV station, right? Yeah. So like they weren't NBC or CBS or BBC One. They were just a television manufacturer essentially, right? They're not a channel. They are a way for channels to exist on. Yeah. But then legally that means they can't dictate content. And so when they were doing things like the reason why they don't have the YouTube review anymore in the end of the year whatever's is because that treads the line that they define for themselves. Because if they're not directly involved in the content, then they can't be directly involved in the content. Right. Yeah. So, at least on the YouTube, as far as my understanding goes, is that's because of the way they structured their legal defense as a TV, not a TV station. So it's unfortunate. And I think, you know, because that worked for them, that's what other services have adopted is, okay, well, that's a safe legal defense because it worked in the past. So we'll do the same thing is we won't touch content even though we still have to regulate content, kind of a thing. So there's a wall that's been placed there, and unfortunately not one they are willing to cross for the sake of protecting their own companies.
I mean, obviously I don't know how much money they make and stuff like that, but obviously there's got to be some kind of way for them to. I'm not saying that they should protect the content creators, but there should be some kind of I don't know, like program to educate,
right?
Or something, you know, like surely they could invest that, and then there would be there'd be less legal issues for them. I mean, I know that YouTube just passes the legal issues straight on to the content creators and say, look, you've been hit with the DMCA thing, but I'm sure there'd be less costs in the long run, and there'll be some good come of it, because maybe YouTube or Twitch could pave the way for other streaming services and video on demand sites to let the creators be creative, but in a safe space, rather than someone making something really creative but it had like a couple of bars, or maybe it's like a half a second of someone's like tune, and then it gets taken down and makes some random media company who's claimed it, like I don't know, if I've like $50,000 richer, you know, because they claim all ad revenue and stuff. That again deters content creators from creating their own stuff based on ideas from other things. Like, there's going to be no innovation if people don't take, like, maybe it's like little snippets or little tunes, like chords or something, or an image, or a redrawn, or remixes, things like that. It kind of stagnates the creativity pool.
Yeah, it's.
apart from the actual artists and
I think
bands and stuff that.
there's a couple of things I think to unpack there. Based at least on your last point, right? I think that's that illusion people have that like creativity and jumps in the intellectual property are kind of like these pocket genius moments where just like these innovators come out of nowhere. But if you ever take time to actually look at what was surrounding those people before they made those jumps, it is a very slow, smooth, step by step process.
Yeah.
They take something from the 70s and they rewrap it, they change it, they modulate it, and over the course of like 10 years, they produce an entirely new sound. But if you actually just trace it back a little bit, you're like, oh no, actually, it was just they just moved that eighth note one beat later. Like that's all they did, exactly. Right? Like, so
like,
yeah,
this is what I mean. The like, there are some artists or labels, like if we're talking about music here, but that will go after the people who'll be like, oh, that's in Barbie Girl from Aqua from 1990, blah 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 blah. I recognize those 12 notes. Mm-hmm. You know, it's the big corporations who, I'm trying to choose my words carefully here. It's the big corporations who go after the little guys who aren't part of their nest, so to speak.
Right.
And it saddens and sickens me that smaller creators can't be innovative.
And that was the other thing I was going to unpack there with what you were talking about. Is it is a bit of that case of follow the money, right? So the reason why something like YouTube would rather just slap a DMCA on you is because they still profit, right? Because now your video that may have not been monetized is now monetized, and that money is going to the copyright holder, and they still profit from it, right? So it kind of does boil down to that follow the money kind of a situation.
Yeah. It's a shame as well. It really is. That everything's about the green stuff. Money, that is.
It happens. It happens. Cool. Well, that was fun. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about for the next half hour?
Well, if you have any questions for me, I honestly have 27 questions prepared. Great.
Well, I'm supposed to lead the first half, so I might as well do my actual part here. What is your you're a bit? I think we could classify you as a variety streamer at this point, based on what I've seen. What would you say is your favorite game or favorite type of game to stream?
Oh, my favorite. I think your favorite type of game would have to be community games or Twitch integrated games.
Right. Jack in the Box.
Yes.
Marbles. Or even games that you can get chat involved in, which I notice you're particularly good at doing that.
Yeah. So like any choice based games. It doesn't even have to have Twitch integration. Games where anything where you provide with a question and a set of responses, and then we can choose together as a community, like as a with chat. Community games like Marbles, Stream Arenas, what's that? Stream Races.
Yep.
What that?
Twitch Racers or something. Yep.
Well, yeah, whatever it is. Choice Chamber. I like games where
Choice Chamber is interesting. Choice Chamber is very interesting.
I love those kind of games where chat can troll me. Because I know it's a bit kind of sadistic, but it's both fun for me and the chat to see if I can overcome whatever kind of crap that they're pushing at me.
Right.
Have you ever heard of a game called Noita? Or Noita? I don't know how you actually pronounce it.
No.
basically you're a wizard. You are given a wand, and you have to. It's a procedurally generated game. It's a randomly generated. It's like a roguelite kind of game. You go down through mines. You make your way down. You've got to like gather. You like explore mines and caverns and stuff like that. You pick up wands. You only have 4 slots, and each wand is completely random. It can have like one could be like a magic missile that just goes poop, and then that's it. It's done. Some of them can bounce around or be chains like saws and stuff, or some can explode. Some can summon rats and all kinds of random stuff. Right. You can enable Twitch mode on that. So every 60 seconds, it has a little poll, so people in chat can vote. Every single time that I played Noita with my chat, every single time they've chosen the most horrible thing, like set me on fire, cover me in oil, slowly degenerate health, anything that could. So I've got to quickly go down. I've got to make my way down through the caverns quickly. Get to the rest stop, get me health top back up, quickly choose my thing because the health's sticking down, or I'm on fire, or there's a huge rat chasing us, or there's worms, or all kinds of crazy stuff.
Right.
Like, that kind of stuff makes me thrive because of the community. Because it's fun. It's fun. Like, I'm not a competitive person, so
it's a challenge and a bit of a bonding experience, and just a way to have fun, not just by yourself.
Yes, exactly.
I agree.
And having an extra random element on top of the other random element, like game mechanics, it makes it more exciting, because I never know what random thing's going to come in the poll, and whether my chat actually wants to heal me, wants to see the end of the game, which they never have, or if they just want to piss me off and kill me straight away with explosions and stuff.
Sounds fun. I wish I had time for diving into all those kinds of things myself. I'll just have to watch you do it for now.
But yeah, community games and games with randomness and chaos. I love streaming, because you never know what to expect.
Right. I've talked about one of my college friends before who was working on developing, rather than procedurally generated worlds, procedurally generated storylines. Because especially with games you're talking about where you have choice, right? So let's say even with just like 3 choices at every plot point, right? That's 3 to the power. So, you have 5 3-choice moments in a game, and you've got, thousands of different possibilities, and trying to write a script for each one of those possibilities is a really bad way to go about producing a video game. But if you could create an AI that can automatically resolve the plots doing that, then it'd make for a much more interesting game, right? Because each one could be different, and even if it's the same, it might generate it differently anyway, so you could make the same decisions but still get a different experience.
Exactly.
So I'd be interested to see a breakthrough in that procedurally generated storyline kind of a situation. Have you seen anything like that? There's only one game I've seen where it's like a bunch of like blob people on a open area, and they all just have alliance versus animosity on their scales. So if something bad happens between 2 players, their animosity grows and they'll start to try to fight each other. Or if something good happens between them, their alliance will grow and they'll defend each other. So you can go around and you interact with these people, and you can do things to make them hate or like other NPCs more and less. And I feel like that's getting there in that vein.
I mean, there's a few story games that's very limited like that, where you can like make the outcome of people's, but it's been like what is the name of that game? I can't remember the name of the game, but it's sort of, like Life is Strange. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
Like, it's that kind of game, but not. It doesn't have like a linear story.
Right.
It's and the people are it does have a kind of story, but you can really change the way it goes. I can't remember the name. Some of my chat might know.
Fable's close, but again, Fable's still technically scripted, right?
Yeah.
Each of the quests are scripted. The main plot points are scripted. Like, it's still a structure you're held in. But it is kind of going in that direction, yeah, of Fable.
Like someone could marry a chicken rather than
right. But in the end of Fable, doesn't matter who you're married to, you're still going to have the fixed endings, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if you had a procedurally generated plot, you could marry the chicken, and then maybe the game just decides, oh, okay, well, now there's a hyper-evolved cyborg race of chickens, and you're the king and queen of the chicken cyborg empire. Like, you know, could just go down a completely different road, right? So.
Oh man, yeah. See, that's I've been a fan of randomness and chaos.
I'm a fan.
I love it.
Chaos is good.
Not knowing what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
Is the chicken going to divorce you and go off and with the cyborg chicken, and then you know, fly off into space and come back with a barrel of monkeys, and you end up marrying one of the monkeys? You know, like
you never know. Anything could happen. Anything can happen.
I love stuff like
that. We'll go off topic for a moment here, just to mix things up. What is your favorite local slang?
Like slang word?
Yeah.
Oh. Wait, see, this is the thing. Like, our local dialect has quite a range of vocabulary. I like saying wasai a lot.
Okay.
Which means large or big. Like, if, say, for instance, if you wanted a if you wanted a large sandwich, you wouldn't ask for a large sandwich. If you were speaking to someone, like not obviously not in a store, but if you were like, say, if you were to ask your parents, you're really hungry, you know, oh, I've got the munches. Fancy making us a wasai butty. Like it's I don't know. It sounds a bit coarse, but it literally just means large.
Does that have a root in anything, or is it really its own?
I have
word?
No idea about the etymology of that. All I know is that
the only thing that came into mind, at least initially, was like, "What's that?" Kind of like a "What's that" sandwich. Like, oh my god, that thing's huge, kind of a thing. But I don't know.
I don't know how you actually spell it, but this is how we've always spelled it, like locally. So it's like wasai. Oh, it's proper wasai, that. Like a lot of our local dialect comes from pit speak. That's why it's called pit yakka.
Right.
And because we're Anglo-Saxon settlements, like the local pit towns and stuff, and mining villages, is where I come from. There was a lot of Vikings and stuff back in the day, so there's quite a lot of Scandinavian,
right,
like vocabulary mixed in. I can't remember off the top of my head any, but like there is fair bit of there's a fair bit of like words that we use that like a Swede or a Dane or a Norwegian would probably like,
right.
Oh, like you know, but yeah, there's a lot of Scottish as well. Like, see where we live, it's like we're between Scotland, or like we're near enough to Scotland. We're near enough to Scotland that we're not exactly Scottish, but we're close enough that we're not exactly English either.
Right.
So it's quite a wild dialect over here. up in the hard north, where it's card, proper brass. So yeah,
It's a good area to live in, I think. At least what I know of it.
it's steeped in heritage. It has a lot. There's a lot of history here. A lot of there's a lot of barrows here. Like tombs where they used to bury the bodies and stuff from like the Middle Ages and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So the landscape's quite manufactured, I guess.
Yeah.
We live on a limestone plateau.
Okay.
So we have quite a lot of unique flora and fauna, like
good old Stonehenge material.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of butterflies and moths that are unique to like the northeast of England and around where we live, and there's preservation sites and parks set up for specifically to try and look after them, because with a lot of the building and construction and stuff like that, there's a lot of the green belts that's getting thinner and thinner.
Right.
So it's harder for them to be conserved. Sorry,
nice.
I know we moved on from dialect there.
Hey, no, it's good. It's good. It's all part of it. Is that diversity is what really enriches a culture, especially over long periods of time. So, kind of knowing where everything comes from just helps keep everything as important as it should be.
I mean, if you are actually interested in the pit yakka and the northern thingy, I can direct people later on to where you can actually find out about our local dialect and stuff.
Sounds good.
And the Geordies, the wee Geordies.
I know about the Geordies.
Them Geordies laugh. Oh, they can't knock.
The butt of many jokes, unfortunately.
Yep.
I think we could pretty much say anytime they try to have like the old country farmer in a movie, it's usually a really bad Geordie stereotype. Hold on a sec. So, I guess at this point, how much time do we have here? We're about 15 in. We've already kind of hinted at it, I think, at this point. Do you just want to go for the mystery mix-up at this point? You just want to go for it? Because I feel like we're going to get carried away, so we might need a little more time anyway. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the mystery mix-up! Yeah! All right, I have a thing somewhere. Somewhere I have a thing. This is not the thing. Give me a moment. The thing is coming. Oh, there's the thing.
When some of my viewers see this...
Oh, hi! Look, it's a thing. It's a thing.
This is so amazing. Like, I'm not even kidding.
Great.
Speaking of random and chaos.
I'm ready. I'm ready. He's laughing already. What do we need to start. We need to start. Where are we starting here? Do we do like a vote chat? Can we get some numbers in chat? We'll let chat decide the setting here.
Oh man, this. Does anyone not know what this is, by the way? This.
This might be the most advanced procedurally generated storyline AI that currently exists, in all honesty. All right, we have a 2, we have a 2, we have a 5, cyberpunk, or as I called it, what did I call it in Record Hunters the other day? Retro snark attack.
Oh, man.
6, custom. You know,
I
can go for cyberpunk. I think we'll go for cyberpunk. Okay. Smeb, pick. Where we go?
Android, why not?
All right, Android. Character name. Smebbity. Doing it. Oh, it's already going. Oh, all right. I didn't think this through. We're going to have to... We're changing on the fly here. Hold on. Shift me over here. Hoo! Hey, okay. You are Smebbity, an android living in the futuristic city of Zale. You have a laser pistol and a holoband. You are a security android created to provide military-level force for corporations wealthy enough to purchase you. So you're a mercenary android. As you stand protecting a shipment, you realize it is just a waste of your kind. You were built to kill, and you are only good for that. You are not allowed to have feelings, but you do have them. Wow. Wow.
Deep straight away.
This is good already. We're done. That's it. We did it. We did it. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
You go first. You go for it.
I mean, we don't have a lot of time, so I'm just gonna get to it. Shoot all the humans. You shoot all the humans. You walk through the building and see the humans sorting through crates of goods. They are loading up a ship you believe is a merchant vessel. They don't realize you are here.
Yell.
Do I need to use like quotations or?
No, you should be able. You should just be able to yell and put your hands up.
That it?
This is a stick up.
Great.
Yeah.
You yell, put your hands up. This is a stick up. They don't respond. Instead, they continue to load crates into the ship. You walk over and use your laser pistol to shoot the crane holding a large crate. It falls, hitting some of them. Giving up. Nice taunt. What do you do? Throw the crate at the humans. You throw the crate at the humans. It bounces off a metal crate. You realize that you are the only good for killing. Ooh, now we're having a crisis. We can't even throw a crate. We literally can only kill. We can't do anything else.
Vaporize humans.
Just that?
Yep.
Okay. You vaporize the humans. You kill the humans. You move on in search of goods that you can steal, but your path is stopped by a wall of fire. Oh, no. You're stopped short by a small figure who speaks to you. Oh. Hello, small figure. How do we put out this fire?
I think you've got it. If you click on do, it should. If you click on the word do, it should come up with the context. See where it's like a pink. Yeah. If you click on that, it should say. It should give you the option.
Oh, what you say, what you do. Great.
Yeah.
Awesome. You say, hello, small figure. How do we put out this fire? That's not a small figure. That's a protrazek, apparently, a thing.
What?
You'll fry if you come any closer. I don't care. How do you put it out? It's a protrazek, apparently, whatever those are.
We're an android. Androids has human. Is androids?
So
no, cyborgs is the one with the.
Cyborg is a human that's become machine, and android is a machine that's become human.
Empty bladder on protrazek.
Great. Let's see what happens. You empty bladder on protrazek. No, you empty your bladder on the fire, but realize how stupid that was only a few seconds later and you run away. You idiot. It hasn't stopped yet. It's a protrazic. I'm so confused. I'm so confused.
So what you can do with this is, if you click the do button until it goes to story, you can actually
we can guide it along.
Manipulate this. Yeah.
Great. All right.
Sometimes it'll get stuck in a weird loop, or if you just want to be a bit crazy and, I don't know, introduce a leprechaun into the mix or something.
Smebbity grabs the protrazic and runs out of the warehouse. Let's get out of here. They make it out of the convenient fire just in time. It closes behind them and they are trapped. Let's think about this, you say. Okay, well, that didn't work. What do you want to do at this point?
Call Bill.
Call Bill?
Up. Yeah.
We're just going to throw a new character in. Call Bill.
Sure.
You call Bill. Hello, yes, I would like to place an order for a protrazic, please. One moment. You wait for several minutes. Nothing happens and you get impatient.
My God. Honestly, I love this website.
It tried. It tried. It really tried. It really tried. Hang up phone and try to break through the wall. Let's see what happens. You grab a pipe from the wreckage and start bashing it at the wall. Most of it's debris, but unfortunately for you, there are still a couple of pipes that are wedged in there tightly. We're trapped, man. How do we get out of here?
Tunnel through wall.
Oh no! Keep playing for free.
Yeah.
Do I have to log in? Oh. I was just kidding.
I've always had an account.
This is how they get you.
Say I was gonna say it could be.
I'll take care of this. We got this. Because I'm probably gonna be doing this on stream at some point. See if that works. Great, it worked. Problem solved.
Amazing.
Okay. All right. So it didn't work. All right. Here's what we're gonna do. Detonate the protrazic.
This is gonna go well.
Oh, hold on. I have to verify the account. My bad. Pause. Again, we've thought this through very, very well.
Yeah, because you can actually play multiplayer AI dungeons as well, so you can have people join in. That's gone well when I've done it.
All right, let me try again. If I refresh this, is it gonna die?
No, you should. It should carry on. It should ask you if you want to continue your last adventure.
Great. Detonate the protazic. You detonate the protazic. You attempt to set off the explosive. Sorry, hold on. Where's my thing? It's here somewhere. Full screen. I found it. You attempt to set off the explosive, but this is a very advanced technology and a small charge is needed to set it off. Unfortunately, you only have one of those, and it isn't enough. Damn.
It's gotta. An android's gotta have some kind of a small charge.
It's gotta be something.
Oh, you got your pistol. You got your. Yeah,
we have a pistol.
Your pistol. Laser pistol thing.
There we go. Set it off with the laser pistol. That's what we need. You shoot the pistol at the explosive and hit it squarely in the nose. It explodes spectacularly. You're covered in white hot flames that burn you severely, but you continue on. So maybe not the best decision, but it seems to have worked. How do we extinguish ourselves?
Search. I think excuse me. I think examine room works, or examine
room for weakness. Unfortunately, between you and the door, you see there's another wall, which is easier to get through. We're in non-Newtonian space. We're in non-Newtonian space.
Oh my god.
Blast through the weaker wall. You blast your way through the wall easily with your laser pistol. However, beyond this wall is a larger closed door. You must put your back to the wall and scan the door for a weak spot or any sort of lock.
Listen for mechanism. Just see what comes with.
You listen for mechanism. You can hear a faint ticking sound coming from the door, and it's so quiet you almost don't hear it. You wait for a few seconds to try to identify the sound. Tap the door in time with the ticking. As soon as you tap the door, it swings open and you're hit in the face by a stream of hot air. You jump back and feel your vision is going to go black, but you manage to pull through. We did it. We did it.
Oh man. See, this is what I love about randomness and chaos, like games like this.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what to expect. Could you, it's just out of silliness, but this
Let's go for it. Let's derail this as fast as possible. I'm ready.
Summon Bill the chicken.
Summon Bill the chicken. Let's do this first. Let's run through the door and summon Bill the chicken. I can't type. You are hit in the face again by another blast of hot air. You manage to duck as this time the second blast hits the door frame and splinters it. It's not entertained by... Okay, so now we'll summon Bill the chicken. The door is jammed open. You see an old man reading a book on the other side. He closes the door without saying anything to you. Damn it, Bill! You failed us. Smeb, Bill the chicken's not on our side. Oh man.
Oh.
All right, we're gonna force things out here. The door falls over, and everything crumbles. Bill and Smebbity are now in a field.
Oh.
You're still in good health, but you're very tired. You take a break and sit down on a crushed bookshelf. Great.
Oh well. Search bookshelf.
You climb up on the bookshelf and you can see that the wreckage extends all the way to the second floor. However, there is no sign of Smebbity or Bill. I thought we were Smebbity. Oh no. Use, what was it? Hollow. What did it say? We had a hollow something? Hollow band. Use hollow band to locate Bill. You search the rubble for your hollow band. You find it on the second floor under a pile of rubble. The green glow from the device is growing weaker. Uh-oh.
Oh,
what does that mean?
Power. Activate holoband.
Activate holoband. I like it. The green glow on the holoband is so weak it is almost gone. You can barely make out the face that comes into view. Hello? The machine says. Bill, is that you? Bill, we're here to save you. Where are you? I'm right here, he replies. Smebbity is found in a crumpled heap on the ground. Oh no!
What?
Smebbity's down!
So hang on, is this a doppelganger? Or
we're not Smebbity anymore. Smebbity is now a separate entity.
Analyze. Where's it when you get hurt? Analyze wounds.
Analyze the wounds. You notice that the skin on Smebbity's limbs and face is burned, but he seems to be otherwise unhurt. Well, thank God for that. We're so sorry we couldn't get to you earlier, you say. Oh, dang. I think we're in story mode now. Smebbity dies from his injuries. Bill comforts me. It's okay. We did the best we could. With Smebbity gone, you and Bill continue on your way. You come across a large metal door. We did all we could, Smeb. Sorry, man. It's just us and Bill now. All right, we'll do two more each and wrap it up here. Let's see if we can't get a good conclusion coming in.
Use laser pistol on door.
You aim the laser pistol at the door and fire. The door explodes into a shower of molten metal. You look at the door and notice a light flashing on the other side. Run to the light. You look at the other end of the tunnels and see a flashing strobe light. It appears to be the same as the one you saw before.
The one that we saw before.
We didn't see one before.
Insert blue LED. Just see what it does.
The light switches on and you feel your mind being filled with a massive amount of data. You see a massive room, the walls lined with hundreds of large metal cabinets, the kind you used to have in school to store books. We're in the Matrix. We're in the jump program of the Matrix. We did it. We did it. Absorb all of human knowledge.
Oh.
You run to one of the cabinets and start opening it. Inside, you find a large number of small green books. You take one out. And you are hit in the back of the head with an empty object. Bill! Bill kills me. He steals all of human knowledge and runs away. I was trying to help him. Why? Smebbity was right. I'm a fool. You die. What a story. What a story.
GG.
GG. Beautiful.
Oh my god.
Beautiful. Goddamn, Bill. He played us from the beginning. He played us from the beginning. Great. Well, that was fun. Yeah. What do you want to talk about now?
Do you have any other questions? I literally I've got like about another 20 questions
Sure.
that I could ask you.
Actually, since we were kind of doing it, what do you think makes for a good laugh?
For me personally, or just in general.
Both. Start personal
For me,
and then maybe generalize it.
for me personally, if someone says something smart and punny, I quite enjoy that. Like I enjoy a good pun now and again. Dad jokes, simple jokes.
Mm-hmm.
It's the little things in life that I enjoy. But occasionally I like the odd smart joke, something that will go over a lot of people's heads. But like a nerdy joke or something. Like something about D&D.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily about D&D, but it's very specialized in niche that like only a few people would know. You know what I mean? Like if there's only like me and a couple of other people, I like that.
Right.
Like who would understand that, Generally, I think it's just I don't know. It depends on people's humor,
Mm-hmm.
I guess. Personally, I don't take things too seriously. I take things seriously enough, but I don't take things too seriously. And like I said, I enjoy the little things.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me feel good. Like it's honestly
Right.
better than taking medication.
For
A
sure.
good laugh every couple of days where my side's hurting. If my side starts hurting, if my side starts splitting, then I know that I've had a good laugh, and
Right.
it'll keep me going for a couple of days.
I think for me, it's much more situational as far as how I find good laughs. If you look at like Danny Kaye movies, which is like old 40s, 50s, 60s movies,
Yeah,
um, his character never says anything funny, and the life of his characters are quite tragic. But the situations he's in are so ridiculous it becomes funny.
yeah,
Right? And so to me, that speaks a bit of that truth is that the specific content at hand can be funny, but the situation that frames it can kind of color it in any way.
yeah.
So for me, I think actually it's the situation that really can kind of drive a good laugh, as it were.
I guess that's kind of what I mean. Like it's if something's ridiculous. I mean, and there's a couple of times where I've laughed awkwardly at someone. It's not at someone, but like what someone said something that totally was not funny. It was just
Mm-hmm.
the context of how they said it, and like I've chuckled a few times in a meeting and tried to stop myself because once I start laughing,
Mm-hmm.
it's difficult for us to stop. I've sat in a very serious meeting and someone said something and it's just boop, and
Right.
I start smiling and yeah, it's getting me into mischief a few times. Like it's like I'm not laughing at someone. It's just
Right.
the
Struck you
ridiculousness
funny.
of the context. Yeah,
I hear you.
like
I hear
I would never laugh at someone else's misfortune
you. Right.
or anything like that. Anything like serious, but yeah,
Fair enough.
context and
Any questions you have on those lines?
Um. Not not in regards to comedy,
Sure.
but actually, would yeah. So, who you're a pretty funny guy yourself, or at least I think so. You're quite humorous. You come up with some funny stuff, and who or which comedians or who has been not an idol, but who do you look up to in regards to comedy and humor? Like be it from film or just
right, yeah.
like stand-ups.
I kind of go all over the place with comedy. I'm most impressed by the dry one-liners, kind of like that Jimmy Carr and Stephen Wright kind of thing. Like, remove as many words as possible until the joke is as concentrated and concise as possible.
Yeah.
Like that I think that takes the most skill, right? Because there's people who can just tell a funny story, and there's people who can just kind of riff for a while about something that's funny. But the ability to actually dissect it, know what's important and not important, and then how to deliver it to maintain full potency, I think that takes the most skill. So, and a lot of people saying George Carlin in chat, and George Carlin is kind of that hybrid to that. So he'll have much longer riffs about things that are funny, but he rehearses them the same way you would those concise one-liners. So it's like 50 one-liners all back to back, right?
Yeah.
It's not so much riffing like most comedians do. It's all very much rehearsed. He's paced it out. He knows what words to use each time and after each one, and how to emphasize each word to give it its full potency. So those are all kind of there.
Would you are you impressed by comedians who as soon as someone heckles they just like that they can retort like or
I think most of that's just chops, right? Like, most heckles come in very few variety. So as long as you kind of have a comeback line that can kind of cover each category of heckle, then you're pretty secure, right?
yeah.
But as far as heckling goes, really it's just about reestablishing control, right? So it's just reminding the audience that we all hate this guy because they're interrupting, and I'm the one with the microphone. So as quickly as it's really just about dismantling it as quickly as possible. You don't want to encourage it, so you don't want to make it the most memorable part of your show, right? But you still need to handle it in real time as it happens, right? So I kind of don't want to answer that.
Okay.
Because like
that,
as far as like actual comedians go, they don't want that to be their content, and they don't want that to be, I mean, there's a couple of comedians who kind of thrive off of it, but most comedians don't want that to be encouraged at all. So out of respect for a lot of comedians, I would say I'm not impressed by it. It's just a necessary skill to have to do what you do.
Yeah.
I mean, it is impressive to see some people just handle it flat out in like 5 words, but that's not the point of stand-up comedy, right?
Yeah. I mean, it takes a special kind of it takes a special skill to be able to just like respond and have like a smart answer and then just carry on like as if nothing happened. I think like with quite a few comedians, they'll dwell on it a bit too much, and then it'll sort of put off the rest of the show, and you can
Right.
tell that it's, you know, and it's
Right. I think you can broaden that more to not just wit, but also that aspect of knowing your audience, right? Because most comedians will tell you every show is different because you have a large group of people, each one with their individual experience, and you're trying to paint all of them with a single brushstroke. So you're never moving the brush in exactly the same way every show. You always have to kind of modulate it to what you're getting back from the audience. So I would say to generalize that more in the real vein of what stand-up comedy is about is that skill of being able to deliver a single message that hits everyone the same way. That's very impressive. That's why comedians have to practice material over dozens and dozens of shows and keep rewriting the jokes and keep trying new deliveries, because that's the skill, is how do you paint 100 people with a single brushstroke and hit them all the same. Like, that's what's crazy about it, right? So
I mean, it impresses me how much how much research they do into like the locations of where the venues and stuff are.
Yep.
So like the towns and cities and things, and
mm-hmm.
the local culture and heritage and stuff. And then there's a few comedians who will have like a segment in the middle of every show, like in the different towns and stuff, where they talk about like local delicacies or local history and stuff, and they'll talk about football, who lost his leg because his wife caught him in bed with or whatever, you know, like silly ridiculous situations out of it.
I think a lot of times they'll find like some late night open mics, and they'll do that like the night before, just to get like a quick cross section before they do the show, or they'll have like a free public concert somewhere they just kind of do just to get a test run in before they do the big show. So there's a lot of different ways I think they go about navigating that, for sure. But each one's different. It's crazy. Because I've done musicals before, and you can kind of see it in musicals too. Because you know, you've practiced the same show hundreds of times, and even with generally the same group of people from the exact same area, all around the same time period, right? It's like, you know, 3-4 nights a week. There's moments that land and there's moments that don't land. And even if you were doing them exactly the same, it still isn't the same as how it lands with the audience that particular night. So it's really weird.
Speaking of musicals.
Oh, segue. Look at this. Woo!
What is your favorite musical, or what would you define as a good as an amazing musical? Opera's not included. Like musical performance, not just a musical. Could be either stage or movie.
Right.
Like theater. Or...
I mean, I'm a big Sondheim fan, but I don't know if I would say any one Sondheim musical is my favorite. Kind of the same way, like I would say I'm a big Beethoven fan, but my favorite song is not a Beethoven song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of Sondheim, but I don't know if I would say any one musical from Sondheim is my favorite. Trying to think which ones I've really liked recently. At least for like a stage production, I think Dogville might be my actual favorite stage production. It was shot as a movie, but it's like a black box theater stage production.
Yeah.
And I think Dogville is incredible. It's a tough movie. Like, full trigger warning, full do not watch this with your parents. Like, it is not a this is a watch it alone at 2 o'clock in the morning kind of movie. But yeah. So
I've not actually seen that. I'm gonna
I don't think it's too widely known, and that's probably because it's not really catering to the public. But it is, as far as theater goes, it's incredible. It is. If you know a good amount about theater and production and all that stuff, what he's able to get away with and what he creates, despite virtually having nothing, it's just, it's like a masterclass. It's amazing.
I'm gonna I'm gonna watch that because I'm very interested in. There's not too many musicals, especially theatre, because I don't get out that often. But there's not too many musicals that I get a chance to see, other than the mainstream ones that run on TV and stuff. But like, movie wise, would you say that music makes a movie? Not just the musicals, but the soundtrack.
Right. I think music is kind of that. It's the chisel, right? So you can have a well-written movie, but it's the music that's going to chisel it into you, right? So, Star Wars essentially, right? Like, everyone loves Star Wars for what it is, but it's when you hear the music that it really, like, takes you over, right? Like, you could see a lightsaber and, like, not geek out that much, but as soon as one of those Star Wars themes comes up, you're like, oh shit, here we go. Right? Like, so I think music is just that. It's that chisel into the heart or the emotions.
Yeah.
So you can have a great movie without music, but the music is what's going to chisel it into people's hearts.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's like, yeah, I totally agree with you there, because even if it's not an original soundtrack, you'll always remember a scene from a movie when you hear a song.
Right.
What's the song called when oh my love, my darling. Every time I hear that, Hunger for Your Touch. Every time I hear that song, instantly Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore.
I think.
No, is it Demi? I can't remember. Is it Demi Moore? The lady in Ghost. Anyway, I always remember that thing.
Right.
Every time I hear
exactly.
it.
I'd say the same thing with Requiem for a Dream, right? Like, just by itself, it's an amazing movie, but the like theme song for Requiem for a Dream, you hear that and you just feel pain every time you hear it. You just want to start crying.
Yeah. I think music, personally, like a movie and stage theatre plays a strong part in the whole product. Like, a lot of people just like, yeah, well, that's just a song in the production, but it's
right.
For me, it's an important thing because I'm hard of hearing, so when I do hear it and it does like trigger like the scene or the rather than being, I can't word it, but like it plays an important part in remembering and feeling the character's emotions or whatever was going on in that scene, more than the actual, like, the visual. Although I guess that's situational, I guess, but music.
It's kind of what I was talking about. It's just like it has that ability to
Yeah.
put that connection in you, so it's always there. Okay. I
And
think
that's just
just talking musicals, I think Music Man might actually be my favorite. As vanilla
nice.
as it is, it's just a fun show.
When did that come out?
Oof,
When was that?
50s, 60s, 40s.
Uh, I can't. Doesn't say when it first came out. I can't find it anyway. Sorry. Yeah, that's an oldie but a goldie. So like I used to, me dad used to watch musicals and stuff on a Saturday afternoon.
It was
As well as
adapted for film in 1962, but when was it written? It was written for Broadway in 1957.
1957. Yeah, me dad used to sit and watch, or we used to have like the spaghetti westerns and stuff on Saturday afternoon and stuff like that when I was growing up as a kid. So I got to enjoy musicals and stuff like that, and the old shows and stuff.
I think the most fun musical I've ever seen was Urinetown. Urinetown is crazy if it's done well, and the production I got to see was done really well.
What's that about again?
It's like a dystopian future where you have to pay to pee.
Oh yeah.
And they're secretly killing everyone. But it's one of those dark comedies that if the troupe is doing it properly, it's just a fun show from start to finish. And I think along those lines, a funny thing happened on the way to the forum. Like, may not be a great musical in itself, like Urinetown, but if you have the right troupe doing it, it's just a great time from start to finish.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm keep moving around in the camera.
You're fine.
Well.
You're fine.
I'm
you got all this real estate to work with, my friend. You got room to roam. It's good.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to.
Cool.
Sorry, I'm making notes as I go along.
No, I mean, all for it. What else you got? Hit me. I'm ready.
Right. Okay. So, do you want a personal question, a conceptual, a question on games, food, or music? Those are the 5 categories that I've.
Let's go personal first, and then we'll go more conceptual.
Yeah. Okay, so for the people who've come from my chat, they might not know you that well. What extracurricular clubs or activities other than socializing did you do in high school or college or university or any kind of secondary education, higher education?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of clubs or activities did you attend that give you knowledge that you still use today?
I think marching band was probably the biggest, because marching band is kind of that big family kind of a thing, and the performances require perfection. Essentially, is what you're going for, right? You want everyone stepping at the right time in the right spots, playing the right notes at the right rhythm in the right volume. Like, it's the most physically demanding perfection performance I've been involved with. And when you have 100 people all working to do it at the same time together, you can't not just form a giant bond through everything. And especially if you have a very demanding, respectful leader, which I was in the good position to have. It's, it's like one step down from the military, right? Military obviously being much more extreme, but that same concept of everyone needs to do their job perfectly together, right? So it kind of has that unifying teaching experience. So I'd say in general, that's probably one of the bigger ones, just because of being forced to work with people no matter who they are, and like knowing that you could do it perfectly, but if someone else doesn't, you still all don't get full marks, which forces you to invest in the people around you. You want to support them, because if they mess up, then it doesn't matter how well you do. So you need everyone to not mess up. So everyone's trying to get everyone to be up to that perfect performance. So
sort of like self-discipline and caring enough about other people around you,
right,
that is all symbiotic.
Yeah.
Symbiotic.
Yeah, very much so. So I'd say that's the biggest, most obtuse one. I've done choir, I've done musicals, I've done football, as you call it, and I've done gymnastics. I'm trying to think what else I've done.
Were those all extracurricular?
Yeah. So, I mean, different stages of life, not all the same 4-year period, but I would say Bax put it very well in that I try to be a student of the universe, as it were. So it's not like I want to know the most about entomology. It's not like I want to know everything about cooking. I just want to absorb as much of the universe as possible. So
know enough about everything that you...
There is no enough. It's just the more I can know about it.
Yeah.
Right. So from that perspective, it's all valuable to me. Mm-hmm. And then that's the challenge in life, is how do you share that knowledge? How do you get other people to care about it the same way you care about it? That's a big guiding force in my life. Is I'll experience something that makes me happy or I find very interesting, and then I need to find a way to bestow that experience onto other people. So, kind of going into like the 1 hour track idea, right? I don't like the 1 hour track too much, but finding ways to get people to appreciate the art of map building, I like a lot. And the 1 hour track is a great way to get people who may not know that much about map building to like stop for a couple minutes. Like, the race isn't over yet. Slow down. Actually look at this for a second. Look at what's going on. What do you have to do? You don't just roll to the wind bin. You have to do something. Right? So that 1 hour track is kind of in that vein of just finding a way to get an experience I've had and find a way to make other people experience that in a positive way.
Yeah.
So
I honestly wished I had the discipline and the patience to build. Oh my god! Like when I've been sitting watching you, I wished I could do even half the stuff that you like. I know that I can do it. It's just
it takes a long time. it's a lot of time and patience.
Yeah,
it's a lot of time and patience. Yeah.
I wished I could do that, but it's honestly it's fascinating. Like coming from I love building stuff and things, but I don't, like when you can fine tune things and you can make these little puzzle tracks. I say little, they're not little, but these puzzle tracks that have these little fine details that and especially having a deep knowledge of the game, and how the pieces work and stuff like that. I mean, I know you've probably heard this a few times, but like just like having that knowledge and passing it on to other people, I feel is important as well. Like especially people who are just getting into marbles, and they're just saying, okay, exclamation mark player, you do the race, you go down. But this is what I love about marbles. There's different things for different people. There's the creative people who don't even want to play, They don't. They just want to create maps that you can do all kinds of fun things with them, and I've seen you do all kinds of fun things with them. And if you haven't run or seen Shen's season 21 1 hour track, go and check it out. It's awesome. There's the studio made. Sorry, I know I'm plugging you.
It's fine.
There's the studio made tracks,
Mm-hmm.
which gets changed and updated, and then there's the arcade mode. I really hope that the seeded tilts gets added into that at some point. Oh my god, I can't wait for that. The tilt lobbies, or something that enables tilt offs.
Yeah.
You know, that I can't wait for that to come to the game. I know it's going to be a while before
There's a couple of ways Pixel could probably go about doing it, so you know.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, yes, discipline, building tracks. I wished I had that, and I have learned quite a lot from it. It's just I don't have the patience or the attention span. Like I get as soon as I see a hammer that goes a little bit. Like I've tried to make those puzzle maps, and I did learn from it. It's just my brain is like, okay, the hammer is just So new map. Do the spirals. Let's go down. Let's go. But yeah,
Yep.
like so the skills that you've picked up through that, I'm pretty sure a lot of the marbles community, especially, obviously other communities as well, appreciates that. And it takes quite a bit for someone who wants to impart knowledge for free, especially. Just wants to learn and then teach other people. It's a good skill to have, especially with interpersonal skills and communication skills as well.
Yep, and I guess that does kind of parallel back to the whole marching band analogy, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you look at the whole community as the band, you know, the better each one of us is, the better the band is.
Yep.
So there it is. Simple. Cool. I think we got time for one more good one.
You want a good one? Do you want a conceptual one?
Yeah, let's go
I've got
full conceptual.
Okay, so right. I don't know how long this is going to take for you to answer, because you might have already thought about something like this
We'll stretch it out as long as we need to. It's great.
Okay. So you told us some catastrophic world-ending event is going to happen in 12 hours.
Nice.
Right. President's called you up. Okay, Shen's, your household.
It's not a good start. It's not a good start.
Well, okay, some official. Okay, some official.
If the first move for a cataclysmic event is quick call Shen's, I think we're already doomed.
Right, okay. So you've been called up by some government official. Mm-hmm. Your household is being chosen as one of the first colonists, one of the first households to colonize Mars. You and your household are going to carry on the human race on Mars. However, you can only take one rucksack, one bag.
Yeah,
right? One large rucksack. You're not allowed to take any liquids with you, no perishables, and any medication will be given to you on arrival.
What? She's been grumpy all week. I don't know what her problem is.
That's okay.
She's been very grumpy. I think it must be her 19th birthday coming up. She's not happy about it. What is your problem? All right, we'll detain her down here for now. So I have a rucksack. So basically, I think what you're getting at is everything I need will be provided, but I can only take a bag of the things I want.
Your personal,
Okay.
Personal effect.
Mm-hmm.
It has to fit in one rucksack.
Right. I mean, I would want a very good pair of chopsticks. I would want.
Okay.
Mm, I would probably want to like get all my music onto a hard drive. So,
Okay.
assuming I can't like stream music from Mars, I would want to get like all my music and movies on a hard drive to bring with me.
Well, yeah, everything on Earth is will not be accessible anymore.
Right. Yeah. So.
So you have to only.
Yeah, I would get as much music and movies as I could onto a hard drive, and do that. Um,
You only have 12 hours.
I got a lot already, and I would just get a couple more quick downloaded would be fine. Um, I'd probably get one or two nice suits. I would. Ooh, I wonder if I would try to bring. See, so it's now that like you're trying to pin the emotional against the scientific, because I would want to bring like one of my fancy plants, but what like would that dictate the terraformation of Mars if that was
Well,
the first plant brought over, right? Like,
we can, if we assume that they're going to have vegetation in biodomes or biospheres or whatever you want to
right.
call them.
But still, if I brought a
we could,
plant in, that would change like the bacteria on the plant, the fungus on the plant, the insects on the plant, and the plant itself. That would all be a factor.
well, yes, I
So,
guess, yeah. So,
so like I personally would want to bring a plant, but the scientist in me would be like, no, do not bring a plant.
which plant would you take?
There's
Any specific one?
it's in the cactus family, but it grows more like a vine called Queen of the Night. It has a huge
All right,
bloom on
man.
it. It's very interesting to me. I really like it. So it'd be nice to have that. It would do very well on Mars, actually. It would do very well on Mars.
So, if you could take that, you would have to it would have to be quarantined.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, it would
I
just
don't, I
be
don't know how
because
we.
what's cool about it is you can just do cuttings. So basically, any leader stem that's growing off of it, you can cut off, and it'll root
Oh, right,
in a
yeah.
cup of water. So I could just
Yeah, yeah.
I could just take a cutting of it, put it in the rucksack, wrap
So
it in
you
a
got
wet
the
paper
tiny
towel.
thing.
Yeah.
Gross.
So
I bet.
I mean, there's not like I don't really attach myself to too many physical things. There's a lot of stuff like furniture and knickknacks and things that I am like attached to when I move that I don't throw out. But that's just kind of like an entrustment. Like these are either very nice things people have given me or things I really liked that I bought for myself. And just out of respect for that, I take care of it and I treasure it and, you know, try to make it last as
So,
long as possible. But like
so,
if I was just leaving the planet, I wouldn't need too much.
so, like books, any kind of entertainment, like books, music, movies, would all be
Yeah, that's
digital.
yeah, that's pretty much.
Is there no special books or ornaments that you would have to take? Like,
Um,
I say have
right. I think the
to take.
music would be the most important thing. So, you know, the Samuel Barber, the Rachmaninoff, the Beethoven, stuff like that. I would have to have those. But, like, as far as physical items go, there's not too much that I'm that attached to, honestly. It's just not how I live
No,
my life.
no instruments that you would want to take.
I don't think I could fit a piano in a. My first thought when you were posing the question before I knew the actual constraints was just a lathe. Like that's always my answer to anything. If you were going to go somewhere, bring a lathe because with a lathe you can literally make everything.
Yep.
So like if I could bring a lathe with me, I could make a piano, right?
If you can fit a lathe into I suppose you could get a foot lathe,
Yeah,
pedal lathe,
yeah.
something. Maybe fit one of those in a rucksack.
Yeah.
That would actually,
Or just like just the important parts of a lathe, like the cutting
Yeah.
tools and things like that, because you could get gears, you could get motors, you could get metal housing. I would assume with your materials already in Mars, but just like anything you wouldn't have to make a lathe.
like diamond tipped.
Yeah, exactly. Just like the special little bits. So, yeah.
Cool. Nice. It's nice and simple. Like, so would there be would the if they said if the government official said that you can take one beverage, either one bottle or one tin of powdered or liquid,
right?
What would be that one one thing that you took?
Probably be a good bottle of scotch, like a Pete Monster or a Johnny Walker Blue Label, something like that.
Because it would be the last bottle that you ever. Yeah. Nice choice.
What about you? What's your last drink of choice?
Gin. Nice dry gin.
Any particular brand?
Flower. No. Just I tend to like the flowery gins.
Yeah, I'm a Bombay Sapphire kind of guy.
Yeah.
Do you have Hendrix where you are?
Yes, we can get it.
Yeah. That's kind of one of. I don't know if it. I think it is still technically from England, but it might be an American company. I don't know. But Hendrix is kind of like that weird wild card because it doesn't have a lot of flavor to it compared to other gins, but it's still really good quality. So you can. It acts. It's a bit more generous. It's more kind of like vodka, I guess. Yeah. So there's some gins that only work in certain drinks, whereas Hendrix you can kind of make work in any drink, and it's still high quality enough that it's not just alcohol. So it's kind of that weird in between area where they're not going particularly for an actual taste like Bombay Sapphire. They're just trying to make a good gin.
We can get it here in local supermarkets. It's for 70 centiliters. I don't know what that is in ounces. 70 centiliter in LOZ. What's that? 24 ounce bottle or something.
Yep, sounds about right.
Is
about 3/4 of a quart, which is
works out about
$3/16 of a gallon.
Yeah, $51 equates to of Great British Sterling.
Cool.
20 pounds. Quid.
So what are you bringing on your journey?
I would bring a laptop, a low-powered laptop. I would download as many indie games as I could from Steam, put it in offline mode. Music wise, I would probably just download some of the game soundtracks. Maybe a few midis because some of those still tickle me, brain buds, or Commodore SIDS. Playing when I'm laptop. Photos, my wallet with some photos of my parents, my family, who don't live here. My cat's collar.
Oh,
I don't know. I'll be more sentimental. Like mine be little sentimental tidbits and stuff. Everything else will be on the laptop. The same with me. Me pack my own lamp. That would be the only useful thing because I'm not like really good with my hands or anything.
Yeah, on those lines, I would probably bring like a container of sand from Ocean City, New Jersey.
Yeah.
I would do something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if they would let me, I would take me mum's ashes or something with us. But yeah, if don't know how I don't know if they would let you do that. But yeah, if I could do that, it'd be like more little sentimental things because
Right.
I have a bad memory and little things like that trigger me, like help me remember the good stuff, things like that. So I just make up my own music. Just just singing and humming and stuff, singing in the shower and whatnot. A hat, a beanie.
Okay.
I would take a beanie as well. I wouldn't really, other than the laptop or in sentimental things, I wouldn't really want for much else. Hair ties, a big box of hair ties. Holy crap! Yes, I almost forgot about that. I would definitely take some hair ties and some mustache and beard trimming.
Fair enough.
A manicure.
You don't think that would be included in the mandatory resources?
Dude, probably. I would expect them to give you like a razor.
Oh, so you want the finer stuff. You want your good
like,
stuff.
Like a beard brush and mustache comb and little fine scissors and stuff. Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah, other than that, yeah, just sentimental stuff.
Cool.
Laptop with old and really silly games.
I like it.
None of this Cyberpunk 2077 crap.
Retro Snark Attack.
Yes, exactly.
5044.
Proud. Yeah, I'm proud.
Well, Smeb, it's been delightful.
Yes.
Thanks for coming on the talk show.
Thank you very, very much for having me, Shen. It's been fantastic.
What a time. What a time. You stream, don't you?
I do.
Tell us about it.
Well, my usual schedule at the minute, it's a bit all over the place with COVID and family being around and stuff. My daughter not going to bed until silly o'clock in the morning and being mischievous, talking to her friends on Messenger.
Kids these days.
Honestly, you should hear some of the stuff because she's in the mid-teenage years now. You should hear some of the stuff that her and her friends talk about. It's disgusting. I never talk about things like that. Yes, I stream every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. My current schedule is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, from 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Saturday, I usually start around 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday, I play indie, retro, community games, do random stuff, mess around. Could be just chatting and stuff as well.
Cool.
During the week, marbles. Can I? I forgot to ask. Can I mention about the MLT?
Sure.
What Jumba's organised.
Yes, it's lovely.
Okay, so every Thursday, the Major League tilts from 7 p.m. Eastern for 90 minutes, and then from 9 p.m. for 90 minutes. There's a few of us who are competing in a tilt league. It's basically just like a few divisions and stuff like that, and I'm part of that. I'm not doing very well at the moment, but I am having fun.
That's what's important.
There's some good people there. Good. There's some Shen tilts quickly. Season 21. All new tilters creeping out of the woodwork and stuff. What's your thoughts on
We're
all
getting ready for next season. Tilt Takeover. It's coming. Till
Good.
Takeover Season 22, it's happening. Get ready. This is just the training grounds. It's going to be so much more next season. Hope you're ready.
I'm glad to see it as well.
Well, Smeb, thank you again. It's been lovely.
Thank you, Shane. Thank you very much.
We'll continue with Q&A with chat after the YouTube portion of the show. So if you're watching this on YouTube, sorry. This is all you get. Got to be here live to catch the Q&A. Thank you all for being here, and we'll see you next week.